What is up, you guys? It is your boy Temp, and we are back with another video. This one here, man, I finally got my hands on a pair of GX batch Kobe 6s in a size 11.5. Now, these ones right here, huge shout out to shoebar.ru. They actually, went out of their way to make sure they could get that size 11.5. Some other sellers have just been like, oh, no, only 11 and 12, because most other batches are, but these ones actually do come in that rare 11.5. And this is one of those rare cases where you do need to size up. So shout out to Shoebar, code TEMP, get you $15 off. But this shoe right here, man, starting off, this shoe, if you wear that 10, you got to get that 10.5. And I'm a guy who likes wearing my shoes snug, and I usually will be the first guy to tell you to go true to size, where all these other people be like, oh, size a full size up in Kobe's. Like, no, dude, you want that one-to-one fit. But this shoe, my first experience with it in the Grinch and Reverse Grinch that I got closer to when they first released, those ones, man, like, they was so tight. And the stiffness mixed with how snug that shoe was, like, it was just killing my feet. Even the KB batch ones that fit quite a bit small, even those, I mean, size 11, I was able, like, once they're broken in, I was good with that size 11, but the other GX ones were very tight. So I highly recommend going up a half size for the GX batch Kobe 6. So here's the box. Kobe Nike Zoom Kobe 6 Supreme, size 11.5, moss green / green apple dash black. I don't, unfortunately, have the OG box of the OG pair. Sorry, y'all, trying to show it in here. This is a Phenomenon box, but I do have the OG pair present. All right, so I will do a little bit of a comparison at the end of this video so you guys can kind of see. Of course, and there will be some differences because that shoe is like over a decade old. It's a very old shoe, like 2011 or something, whereas these, of course, are brand new. And as far as I'm aware, they are modeled tech-wise off of the Protro, even though the box is the OG. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that is the case. So, without further ado, let's get into this shoe. So, starting off with the bottom of the shoe, you've got your semi-translucent green outsole, standard for your Kobe 6. Carbon fiber, legit carbon fiber, looking good. And the rubber compound on these actually feels nice. It's nice and tacky, of course. With those translucent or semi-translucent ones, it's hard to tell. People always be like, go with solid rubber. But like translucent, if you're on a clean court, like translucent soles, man, like because they have a little bit of a tackiness to them, they are like OP, man. But in return, when they have that tacky kind of feel out the box, they also pick up dust like a lint roller. So these ones here, hard to say exactly how they will be. I know the retail ones weren't bad. They felt similar to these two. But, yeah, I mean, pretty standard for your Kobe 6. You should be good as long as you wipe your soles, which most people do anyways when they're hooping regardless. So, there you have it. But, yeah, black Shizuku on the back and then black foam from the midsole there. But, yeah, pretty standard. As for your midsole, you've got your it's got two different sections of, like, a matte and a gloss black. And the midsole curve and overall shape looking really good on these. Nice and sharp. And again, like I mentioned in my other videos of the GX batch Kobe 6 that were taken down, aesthetically, I mean, these are top tier batches you're going to find. These, Star and GK, like all three are really, really good aesthetically. And these ones definitely, I mean, the earlier colorways from GX were missing overspray and such. But these newer colorways, they've done a really good job correcting that. And yeah, they look really good. I mean, aesthetically, all three of those batches, I mean, you cannot go wrong. You got three very retail looking shoes. But yeah, as for the cushioning in these joints, they do feel a fair bit better in my true size, I must say. The heel has some compression. It's not overly soft. The forefoot definitely has a little more bounce to it. Definitely I feel it more than the first two pairs in that size 11 where my toe and my foot was really crammed in that forefoot. With my feet having a little bit more room to kind of splay out on the insole, it was a much more enjoyable ride. Again, the heel isn't the most cushioned compared to other batches. Like, there's definitely compression, but so many of the other batches have, like, lots of heel cushion. Like, S2 is very soft. GK is quite soft as well. And then even the Star ones are kind of in between, I would say. These ones definitely still have your heel cushion, but is a little less like plush, which is, I mean, still very comfortable. And your forefoot definitely has that little more firm kind of ride. I would say, again, more so similar to Star, whereas S2 is a little bit on the soft side. GK is like retail on steroids, like you got freaking springs under your feet. And then these ones, as well as Star, I would say feel a little bit more close to responsive, but still cushioned, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, overall, solid and much more enjoyable ride in that correct size, if that makes sense. As for your upper, you've got the black engineered mesh upper with the kind of goldy green glossy scales, kind of color shifting depending on your like lighting that you're in, and then the kind of bright, almost like an electric green kind of swoosh there, which does have some overspray and positioning and everything looking really good. Scale lining too, I mean, aesthetically, these are as good as you're going to find. These are really good. And then on both sides. And the one thing with the upper on these joints, again, with them being more on the stiff side, and I mentioned that in one of my other videos, I think it was on the Star one, that pretty much every rep batch of 6s has a fair bit stiffer upper than retail. More so around where it's adhesed and stuff, and more so towards the toe box, of course. But that's just, you know, the name of the game with all reps, right? These ones, upper in the midfoot and everything, not too bad. Toe box is definitely more on the stiffer side compared to most of the other batches. The Star ones, I said the same thing. They were a little bit stiffer too. But that's the only thing. With going up that half a size, feels fine out the box. But like I mentioned, when I did go true to size and they were a little bit too snug, like it was very crammed because that toe box was stiffer. But besides that, the upper materials and quality, again, feel really nice. I mean, it's a really high quality sneaker, right? One of the best batches for sure. And as for the back, you've got that synthetic nubuck with that kind of black and green little snake mamba logo. You've got more of that gold green on your heel cup matching the scales with the green Kobe signature. Black heel tab looking good. Shape and everything quite nice. And then you got your Rice on the inside there, as this is a Rice High School PE. Man, if we're going to talk about Rice High School PEs, Kobe 4 is that green patent leather. The 5s, the yellow and the green ones. So many heaters, man. Rice High School did get some heater Kobe PEs, man. Them, Westchester, Lower Marion, man. Oh. But yeah, anyways, black Nike Torch mesh material on the tongue, laces in that black oval flat hybrid. A little bit maybe on the thinner side, but it's pretty close. I'm just comparing to the other batches. And then that synthetic nubuck again on the tongue with the green Kobe signature, the Shizuku, sorry. And then the tongue backing and everything, really nice as well. Decent shape to the tongue. And yeah, not too bad. And then heel sculpting and contour looking good. Has the I Want a shoe that molds to my foot on the insole in that black and green. And the KB24 on there, if you guys can see. Sorry, my hand's probably in the way. But, yeah, standard for your Kobe 6. And like I mentioned, the sculpting and everything pretty good. These do have a little bit more of a minimalistic padding setup compared to some of the other batches. Like I mentioned, again, in the size 11 one, with it being too snug, that more harder heel counter with less padding was really digging into my foot. Going up that half size definitely feels much more comfortable for sure. So again, all these kind of things factoring in, highly recommend. And this is by someone who likes wearing their shoes very snug. Go up that half size for sure. So as for the OG, I'm going to give you guys a quick look here as well, so you guys can kind of get a bit of a side-by-side. But overall, they are really close. The main difference is that these scales, obviously on my pair, are very old and worn. Like they still do have that kind of gold sheen, but it is a little bit more of a gold than a green. And again, it's very matte and just worn out just due to age, right? Like these have already been re-glued at the toe. And yeah, but I mean, midsole, I mean, you've got your matte and gloss. The green shades are still actually quite close, even with the aging. And swoosh color, I mean, all seem to match up. Your synthetic nubucks and your logos, again, on both are quite close. Like between the OG and this one here. And yeah, and even the laces, I guess laces are still pretty close even with the OG, so not too bad. But yeah, man, these are really good. The logo on the back there, I believe, might be a tad bit bigger on Yeah, a tad bit bigger on the retail. Takes up more of that kind of heel section. That's one thing I guess I've noticed, but overall, I mean, your rice as well, that actually looks quite close. Heel counters. Yeah, wow. I mean, these are really good, guys. For sure. So, I mean, it's a solid shoe. They knocked it out of the park with these. And we saw these from the old Star Batch ones, and I would definitely say these GX Batch ones are for sure better. They take the cake. But these, and even the Orange Counties, even though the color matching might be a little bit off on the Orange Counties, really good sneaker right here, guys. So if you guys like those OG colorways, I know that not many batches are producing many of them. You know, everyone's kind of going with the Protros. And maybe they do have the bigger audience for that since it's newer releases. But yeah, I mean, gotta love these OG colorways and when they actually get made, especially by a top tier batch. So shout out to shoebar.ru for sending these my way. If you guys have any other shoes you guys want to see, be sure to leave them down below. And yeah, it's your boy Temp, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.